Right, so we're going to start with your customer avatar and what it is. So what is your customer avatar? Your customer avatar is basically the person that you will be selling your product to. And this is going to be a very specific person that you are going to build a profile of. Now, this is a theoretical person that exists. And you need to understand and remember that your job as a internet marketer is to move someone from one part of their journey or their sales journey to the next step in their sales journey. And this is the purpose of your content. But for you to be able to move someone from the one side to the next side, you first need to understand who this person is that you are dealing with. And you need to have a really in-depth understanding of who this person is. The reason for that is because it does make your life a hell of a lot easier down the line. Now, the reason for that is the moment you start advertising and writing content, you don't want to write it just hoping it lands with someone. If you know your customer avatar and you know the pain points that they have and you can address them properly, then your content will have a much bigger effect. So you need to understand who your people are that you are writing this content for. Otherwise, you're just going to be wasting your time. And we've already discussed it. I'm a very efficient person and I don't like wasting my own time. And I'm sure you wouldn't either. And you know, producing content, it takes a lot of time. And it takes a lot of energy and a lot of research sometimes. So you don't want to waste your time by creating the wrong content that doesn't actually move your avatar. So this is one of the key fundamentals of starting an online business, is knowing who your customer is. Now, we are going to, I'm going to show you how to build a customer avatar, and we are going to actually build, we're going to build one, but you should actually build four. But I'm going to build one to show you how it's actually done. Now, the thing with the customer avatar, there are a couple of things that's essential to put in there because it will give you a better understanding of them as well. Now, this is something that has really served me well in the restaurant industry, is by getting to know people and knowing what would push them just that little step further. Now, when you build a customer avatar, obviously you want to not just have in your funnel, in your system, in your ecosystem, there's going to be various people in various steps in their sales journey. So some people would just be coming in. Some people will be on their way to a purchase already. So you have to have at least a wider variety of customer avatar, which covers all the bases basically. So a good place to start is by building 4 separate customer avatars. And the different ones basically will be one person that is just curious, that is just starting to see who you are and all those sort of things. The second one will be someone that's starting to consume your content, but they're not really quite a follower yet. They're still checking you out. And then the third one will be someone that is a little bit more warm. They are actually following you. They're in like your private group or whatever. And then the fourth person is your hot lead, the one that's just about to buy. So these are different avatars that you can build for people that are on different steps of the sales journey, basically. So the things that you absolutely have to have in your customer avatar are things like goals and values, because you need to know what the goals and values of this person is, like what would drive them, what would incentivize them to take a product. Like, do they want to better themselves? What do they want to one day reach this goal or whatever? So you want to basically offer them a step towards that goal. So you need to know what that goal is in the first place to be able to offer them that step. And this is why we do the avatar before the offers, so that you can know who you are actually talking to. So then the other one that you want in there is sources of info. How do they consume information? Do they watch TV? Do they watch Netflix, HBO, Sky TV, whatever? Do they read newspapers? Do they listen to podcasts? Do they read blogs? Those are things that you will then need and in future to know where to actually advertise to this avatar. If it's someone that reads newspaper like very old school, it's no point in making him listen or advertising to that person on a podcast. So it doesn't really work that way, unfortunately. So you have to you have to make sure that the sources of information that they consume is where you are going to be advertising, and obviously the type of information that they consume as well, long form, short form, those sort of things. So the other one that you want to put in there, obviously, is the demographics. Is this a guy or a girl, or in between? What do they like? What don't they like? Where do they live? What income bracket do they fall in? Or what's their mean salary? Where did they grow up? Those sort of things. You know, the type of education that they got, because all these things influences the buyer persona, the buyer. The mentality that they have around products, around how much they can afford, around what they spend their money on. So your demographics is really important as well. So, and you have to include those. The other one that's really important is their challenges and pain points. Now, you know that these are the type of people that you're dealing with. They come from X city and they earn this much. They've got 3 kids and they are married. They've got a mortgage, they've got a car, 2 cars that they're paying for. So you know that this is the person that you're speaking to. So now you go look for their challenges and pain points. What are the things that they actually struggle with? This is where it becomes interesting, because this is where you are going to start addressing those things in your content, and also look for the offers for these challenges and pain points. If you can help them with their challenges and pain points, you will have loyal customers. But first, you need to know what they are. So this is where a little bit of research comes in as well. You need to go find out what are your ideal customers' pain points, and for you to be able to solve them. And you know, there's nothing wrong with a quick survey, a couple of Facebook posts that you can ask questions on, just get some engagement going and find out. I mean, ask a question just to explore people. Ask them, what would you prefer? Would it be X or Y? And all those sort of things. So you will need to do a little bit of research on this just to get your challenges and pain points for your avatar. But this is going to be very, very useful for you. And then the last one that you want to include there is their objections. Because if you know what objections they will have, then you can address that in your advertising. So say, for instance, they feel it will take too long to learn the skill, and you can say, learn this skill in 20 minutes or less. Because you know that that's going to be an objection of theirs, so address it immediately. If you know what their objections are, you can address them in your marketing, in your content, however you want to do that. But so that already answers their questions before they even read your content. I mean, you can kill all their objections, like price, how long it will take, all those things, just by knowing what they are in the first place, and then taking it from there. Okay, so now that we know objections is like one of the last parts that we're going to add, and for what reason, let's look again at these things a little bit closer. So for goals and values, why would you want to actually put that in there? Because if you start producing your own products one day that you want to sell, whether it's a course or whatever, you need to know that these courses or whatever, this product that you produce, will actually fit in with their goals. So if you're going to produce a course about making money online, you know that you're going to show that to someone that it will help him fulfill his goal of making money online. So, and then also through advertising, what is your ambition? Like, what is the customer's ambition? How can you help him reach that ambition? And the sort of content that you then produce to help him move along or add value, so that he can then sit down and think, oh wow, yeah, okay, cool, this really fits my goals. So again, this is quite important. Now that you know the objections of your customer avatar, now we can actually start building it. Now that you've gone through everything, you know what his goals and values are. You know what the sources of information is that your customer is consuming, whether it's YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever. You know the demographics, you know where he's from or she's from, you know whether they're married, you know whether they've got kids, you know how much money they make. You also know what pain points they have, and you know what objections they might have to your product or to whatever service you're selling. So now once you've got your objections sorted out and you know what those objections are going to be, now you are actually ready to start building your avatar. And the way we do this, the way I like to do that, is to have a sheet of paper and then put everything on there so that you can have like a little record of who your customer is. And if you write content or whatever, you can just look up and say, okay, this is a Bill, he's married with kids, he earns this much a month, etc., etc. So what you basically do is you want to have the main information on this card. Now obviously this is going to take some research, but you have a picture. Take a picture out of a magazine or whatever, and you give that person a picture. If it's a man or a woman, give that person a face. Give that person a name, and then write there, married with kids, is 40 years old, he earns this much, this is his job, this is the car he drives, this is how many car he has, this is his monthly expenses, this is so you know everything. This is Billy and this is his life. Then you go into a little bit more detail. So what are his goals and values? And you write down, these are his goals short-term, these are his long-term goals. These are the sort of values that he prescribed to. And then in the next block, in the block next to that, you can say, okay, these are the sources of content he consumes. These are the influencers he follows. These are the people whose content he actually consumes, like Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or whoever. This is the sort of people he follows. And then underneath that, you have like what are the challenges they face, or what are the pain points and the challenges that they would face. Like he's struggling at the end of the month, his salary is not enough, his job, he's not skilled enough to step up in his job, or he's got a shitty job and his boss overlooks him for promotion, whatever the case may be. These are his pain points or her pain points. And you need to be cognizant of it. You need to understand that these are the issues that he has. So then you have the objections that he might have. So now you have one of those little cards with his face and all that information. So when you start producing content, you have them stuck up against the wall, and you know that Billy is in this part of his consumer journey or his sales journey. And this is the issues that he faced. This is who he is. And this is the sort of content that you can then produce to move him to the next step. And then once he gets to the next step, you have a new avatar. This avatar is got different goals. They've already reached some of the goals that they've had. Now they're moving on a step, and they are ready to move to the next step. So now you produce content for them as well. So this is basically how the customer avatar helps you to know how to then look for your offers. And this is what we are going to be handling next. When you look for your offers, you need to know the pain points of your customer, because essentially your job would be to yes, move them from one step in the sales journey to the next one, but you do that by the offers that you have essentially at the end is the ones that solves their pain points. They're the ones that helps them achieve their goals. And this is why it's important to know them. And once you know these things, only then can you go start looking for your offers to know how to meet the needs of your customer avatar and to solve their problems. Because if you can solve their problem, they will be a follower for a long time. So start with that. So in the next lesson, we are going to just basically go through how to build the avatar. I'm going to take you click by click, just do it on a simple sheet just to show you how to do that. And yeah, then you can print it, stick it on your wall, and you're done with it. So, and then after that, we will then move on to the offers. Right, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.